gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Maloney.
Good morning.
Fine, brisk morning.
Brisk is right.
Good gracious, Mr. Maloney.
Okay, Pete, let's have the drawers.
Hey, you, take those pants off. Cram, Danny.
We don't laugh at things like that in Boston.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Hello, Maloney. What are you doing up there?
Oh, good morning, Judge. These Harvard boys. Now, why would anyone want to do a thing like that?
Maybe they felt a fella like Columbus needed a drink after all these years in the square. I think you look better with the hat on.
Good morning, Judge Bailey. Oh, you're kind of early this morning, aren't you?
Got to keep the jails full.
Why, he's a hard-working man.
Hello, Hector. Oh. You're in early. What have you got there?
Oh, a package. You could have had your second cup of coffee, you know. And the assignment list isn't out yet.
I'm not going to take the Winthrop case, if that's what you're hinting at. I've got a little repairing to do. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
I sat down on Longfellow this morning.
Oh.
Mrs. Bailey claims she's distantly related to Longfellow.
Well, that's Emerson.
Oh, is that who it is?
It's going to be a nasty case. It's a shame. Fine old family. It's a pity. All over the papers. You'll get your picture in that, too.
I will not. I'm not going to handle this case. There are two other probate judges on the bench.
That's right. And they'll both see that you get it. Hello? Oh, yes, just a minute. It's your daughter.
What's she doing up so early? Hello, Catherine. Oh, how much? What? $50 for a hat? What don't I understand? What occasion? But, darling, I just can't afford it. No, there's no use you coming over here. She's coming over.
I suppose you've already bought that new suit you were talking about.
Yes.
Well, have you?
No, not yet.
Of course, it's none of my business, Your Honor, but you're lucky you wear a robe on the bench.
It's as bad as that.
All right, fellas, he's in.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Judge Bailey. Happy birthday to you.
I didn't have the slightest idea.
See, what to tell you, he doesn't even know what day it is.
Well, what do you expect after 10 years on the bench? Have you got it, Hector? We really intended this as a little token of our esteem on the occasion of your birthday. But as it happens, it will also serve as a symbol of our most sincere congratulations.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And deepest sympathy.
Thank you.
On your assignment to the Winthrop case.
Oh, no.
Then you admit that between the hours of 7 and 9, you consumed 3 daiquiris, 2 sidecars, and a rum Collins.
Where were you, under the table?
Your Honor.
Looks like everybody was there that night. Well, if you want to know the truth, I didn't have 1 rum Collins. I had 2. Does that give the old buzzard the right to take away my kid? I didn't marry him.
Your Honor, please.
Look, you've been giving me the works all day now. Well, who wouldn't take to drink cooped up with a frozen-faced slice of cold roast Boston? We don't do this. We don't do that. He drove me crazy, I tell you.
Mrs. Winthrop, your counsel has probably advised you, and I would certainly like to assure you that it would help your case a great deal if you could bring yourself to behave in court with patience and courtesy. Your mascara is running.
Your Honor, it's your daughter. She wants the 50 for the hat.
What hat? It's a present for my birthday.
Isn't that an awful lot of money for a tie?
Don't be so stingy. Give her the 50.
That makes 60 you owe me.
Proceed, Mr. Holmby.
You're the father of Lieutenant Charles Royce Winthrop, deceased.
I am. Your Honor, my daughter-in-law just described me as a slice of cold roast Boston. A very graphic metaphor. I suppose rather apt. But how would you feel if your only son met a girl on a Saturday night, married her a week later, and sailed to the Pacific the next morning?
Mr. Winthrop, don't
Don't
you...
along, Bright. I've been making my own mistakes for some time now. My daughter-in-law thinks I'm very selfish when I want my only grandson to go to school at Groton and then to Harvard, as his father did, and mine and his. My son was a boy who showed great promise. He was a soldier and was killed. I should like my grandson to grow up to be like his father. The last letter my son wrote to me, we received it after we were informed of his death. He said facetiously, because he couldn't possibly know whether the baby would be a boy or a girl, I should like you to see that Junior gets the helmet I wore the last game I played.
The case will be continued until tomorrow. It's a nice plane. Nice box, too. Thank you, Hector. Did Catherine tell you what she was getting for me?
No.
No, she wouldn't. Good night, Hector.
Good night, Your Honor.
That's 60 I owe you.
110.
Oh?
Your wife was in.
Oh.
I guess Mrs. Bailey wanted a new hat, too.
Oh. Let me have another 5. I think I better get her a few roses. Good night. Evelyn? Evelyn? Catherine?
Hello? Yes, Mrs. Hawkinson.
Isn't Mrs. Bailey in?
No, I'm sorry. Mrs. Bailey's out for the evening.
Oh.
They're both out.
Where'd they go?
Mrs. Bailey called and said they won't be home for dinner. So I said, could I have the evening off because of me back? And she said, all right. Oh, Mrs. Bailey said there's a nice piece of cold mutton in the icebox.
Thank you. If head of the family.
Thanks for the lift. Oh, Tom, you still up?
Oh, dear, where have you been? Where'd you put those canceled checks?
Oh, doing your income tax again, you poor dear.
I wish you'd find them. I wanted to deduct the contributions.
Guess what?
What?
We're engaged.
Really? I thought we were married.
Very funny.
Who is it this time?
John Struthers III.
No. So you finally swung it. Does Catherine know?
This time she told me. Isn't it wonderful?
Oh, I don't know. Struthers have always struck me as being a kind of a shoddy crew.
But it certainly won't hurt us. We're related to one of the finest and oldest families.
Struthers? Struthers are upstarts. Didn't make their money till the Civil War.
You and your pilgrim father.
Not that it makes any difference to me. I still say they're shoddy.
Oh, shoddy.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Dad. Who are the lovely roses for? Where did they come from?
Oh, I brought them.
For Catherine? But you couldn't... Oh, it's our anniversary? It's your birthday. Oh, you poor dear. I'm so sorry. They are lovely. It was sweet of you, Tom. Oh, Daddy, this is terrible.
Well, are you very happy?
Yes, very.
That's grand. It's the way it ought to be.
Tom,
Hmm?
you married a very clever woman. You know what I did today? I saved you $3,000. Oh, what's wrong? Be an angel, unbutton me, will you?
What'd you do?
I got Aunt Hester to give me her baby grand for our wedding present. That's at least $500.
Oh, what else?
Well, naturally, the piano will need a little overhauling. Then, and this took some maneuvering, I persuaded Genevieve to give the reception. That's another $2,000.
Oh, that's great. Who's Genevieve?
Mrs. Struthers. Oh, naturally, we'll have to pay for some extras. But that isn't all.
All right, let's have the rest.
The trousseau. I went to all the big stores, and do you know what they want for practically nothing with no lace on it?
No.
$275.
You didn't?
Of course not. I wouldn't dream of paying such prices. I found a divine little woman on Tremont Street.
How much?
Only $1,100.
$1,100?
But, Tom, that includes everything. Bridesmaids, nightgowns, everything, trimmed with French lace.
Well, I guess Catherine will just have to march to the altar without lace panties.
Tom, that isn't funny.
You're right, it isn't. Let's stick to our own level. I've no intention of making a fool of myself trying to keep up with the Struthers millions.
I knew it. I knew you'd be like this. You don't care if your daughter's married without a stitch on her back. You don't care if I'm humiliated publicly in front of all my friends.
Now, look, Evelyn, all your friends know exactly what a probate judge gets. All the lace in France won't make them think it's a penny more.
Well, that's what's so humiliating. Heaven knows I've tried. I've tried very hard. Look at the Howards. Have you seen her new sables? They say he won't even touch a case for less than $20,000, and he was appointed judge the same year you were. Only he quit in time and went with Union Trust. Remember the night I came home and told you to go and see Mr. Dobb? Oh, you wouldn't, so they offered it to him. And you still haven't changed. If you had the opportunity today, you wouldn't go and see Mr. Dobb?
Of course I wouldn't. He's dead.
Oh, that's just like you. Every time you're told the truth, you make a joke about it. Well, it isn't funny to me. It isn't funny to be married to a failure.
Sure looks pretty in that French lace. 8.5 yards at $27.98 a yard.
I've only got one daughter. She's only married once. I hope.
You look pretty good yourself.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Amazing what you can rent these days.
Oh, Judge, Miss Bailey's looking for you.
Oh, is she? Hector, you know my new son-in-law.
Sure. What are you two hiding here for?
What do you think?
Oh, Miss Bailey, here he is.
You know, John, a time may come when you'll be hiding from Catherine. You wouldn't want me to go. Hello, Evelyn. I've been looking for you everywhere.
Oh, have you? Come along, dear. Mr. Struthers wants to talk to you.
Things went off rather nicely, don't you think?
Very nicely. Nice champagne, too.
Good picker, my boy.
He certainly is.
Tom. Evelyn and I have been talking.
Yes.
You heard about the Union Trust reorganization.
Yes?
Whale of a legal tangle. We've been looking for the right man for a couple of months now.
Yes?
We need a first-rate lawyer and the kind of integrity which will strengthen the present board of directors. We think you're it.
Thank you.
The job pays $20,000 a year.
Sounds pretty good.
Of course, you'll get some stock, too.
Sounds very good.
Tom.
You think you could run down to Washington for a few days next week?
Thank you very much, John. That's a very attractive offer. But I think you're talking to the wrong fellow. I happen to like being a judge.
Please, Tom.
And I don't like the notion of throwing away the small satisfactions I get from this job for the doubtful advantages of a job for which I think I'm really not suited. I don't think I really need a chauffeur or a limousine. Hey. Beg your pardon.
Well, seems to know his own mind, doesn't he?
Tom? Oh, no. It's just the champagne.
When the custody of a child is contested, it is the solemn duty of the court to disregard the natural feelings of guardian or parent and to consider solely the best interests of the child. This court, therefore, awards the custody of the minor Charles Winthrop to his grandfather, Cabot Royce Winthrop.
Court is adjourned. Everyone rise. You decided it the only way you could under the law. It'll stand up in any court. Oh, Struthers called. And your wife called 3 times.
Yes, I know.
Oh, is it the ticket you're looking for?
Thank you.
So you're going to take the job?
I didn't say I'd take the job. I merely promised Mrs. Bailey that I'd take a trip to Washington and look things over.
Down to 143.5.
Little trouble, West Coast.
You don't mind, gentlemen? There you are, sir.
What about AM Steel?
Up 3/4.
New construction with P&O.
Maybe you'd like the dinner. Excellent roast beef tonight.
No, just 1 poached egg. And some tea and wheat.
Those southern bonds have got me worried.
I got out sold 2 weeks ago.
You're pretty shrewd. You're never caught.
What about Union Trust?
Still down.
Sound as a bell. Struthers knows his onions.
That's very interesting. You know, the Struthers' son married the daughter of the judge who tried the Winthrop case.
Why not? Winthrop is pretty heavily involved in Union Trust himself. He and Struthers are just like that.
Now I see.
It's obvious.
Are you the post egg, sir?
Yes.
Never mind. Cancel it.
Yes? Dr. Boyd? What's the matter? Didn't you find Dr. Murdoch in?
Well, as a matter of fact,
That's all right. Nobody comes to me unless Murdoch's out. Come on in. That hurt?
No.
Here?
No.
Here?
No.
How about this?
Yes, that hurts.
Well, what do you expect when someone jabs in the liver? Come on, sit down over here.
Well, Doc, do you think I'll live?
Is it worth the trouble? Breathe. How often does your wife go to a massage parlor?
Oh, about once a week. How'd you know I was married?
How long since you've had a massage?
Oh, it's not since I went to school.
Turn around. Breathe again. Been working pretty hard to keep the family in the style to which they've accustomed you?
I've just 1 daughter.
One can give you as many ulcers as a dozen.
Is that what it is?
How long have you been married?
19 years.
Well, you're in remarkably good shape, considering.
Is it an ulcer?
Button up your shirt. You've either been doing something you don't like, or you're about to do something you don't like. Both are fatal.
What is this strange malady?
Inflammation of the family. You won't find it in any medical books, but it's actually killing more men than all the germs in China. Of course, you can always try a bland diet, lots of sleep, no alcohol. Have a drink? Take it. It won't bite you. Of course, there's a cure, but you respectable fellas are all alike. You wouldn't have the guts to try it.
Well, what is it?
My prosperous colleagues would call it a complete change, but I have no bedside manner. I call a spade a spade. Forget your wife, forget your family, forget your job, and run. Run for your life.
I guess I better try the diet. How much do I owe you, Doc?
You don't owe me anything. I don't charge people I can't help.
Would $5 cover it?
Thanks.
It's a nice rod you have here. It's a Tonkin bamboo, isn't it?
That's right. I didn't expect you'd know about things like that.
I used to.
I'm going up to the lake in the morning. The season's just opened. They say there's lots of trout this year. I've a nice little cabin. Nothing like fishing to take your mind off things.
Goodbye, Doc. I hope you catch a lot of fish.
Here's your train, mister.
You were going to Washington.
I changed my mind. Would you send this telegram for me?
Sorry, fella's gone for the night.
Oh. Oh, I can send it in the morning. The best 3 days I've spent in years. I don't think I ever saw a fish like that big one yesterday.
Pulling her lap to it. You know, you're a pretty good fisherman for a judge.
You're a pretty good doctor for a fisherman.
You're still wrong. You can't argue against facts. Do you know that 76.5% of all the wealth of this country is in the hands of women?
Is that so?
And why? Because men kill themselves making money while their wives collect their life insurance.
All you bachelors talk the same way, trying to justify your failure to increase the country's population.
What gave you the idea I failed? Or that I'm a bachelor?
What?
Yes, sir. I've been married 33 years. I've 7 children, and I'm twice a grandfather.
You know, Doctor, you really put me in the soup. I have no idea what to tell Mrs. Bailey.
Tell her nothing. Here's something for you to read in the train.
It's been wonderful not seeing a newspaper for 3 days.
Well, what are you running home for, then? Why don't you stay another week? What's the matter?
It says here, I've disappeared.
What? Did I? Prominent jurist missing. Judge Bailey disappears. Well, what do you know?
I didn't send that telegram. I got a telephone.
Wait a minute. You don't understand. This is terrific, Judge. It's a miracle.
Hello, operator. Operator, I want Boston. Beacon 2097.
This is a chance of a lifetime. Grab it.
Operator, will you hurry it up, please? I got to catch a train.
You won't have any responsibilities. You can do as you please. You'll be free. Remember, no pains in the stomach.
Don't be ridiculous. Yeah. They must be out of their minds with worry. Yeah. Busy. Busy. I better send that wire.
What, my dear fella? Suppose they're not worried. Why should they? Your daughter's married a rich man. Your wife will get the insurance. They don't need you.
Yeah, there's my train. Doc, will you send this for me?
I wouldn't. This'll be an awful shock for them.
Oh, you're a great help. Well, goodbye, Doc. Thanks for everything. And send that telegram, will you?
You've certainly got an ego. You really think they're weeping their eyes out for you? The truth is they're probably relieved.
You're certainly an optimist.
Board! Goodbye, my friend. Be careful how you walk in on them. Sucker.
Hey, Doc, send the... Oh!
Whose bed is it?
Two spades. Pass.
Pass.
Lend me a hanky, will you?
Now whose bed is it?
Mine. And I bid 3 hearts.
He always seems such a thoughtful man to me.
He's very sweet, as husbands go.
And his husbands go? He went.
Evelyn, that's not a nice thing to say. We don't know what happened.
Oh, come now, let's not make a wake of this. I'm terribly grateful to you all for keeping me company.
After all, accidents do happen.
If it's been an accident, we'd have heard long ago.
But it mightn't be an accident. He might have planned it.
Planned it? He never plans anything without consulting me.
She means another woman, dear.
Tom? Oh, don't be ridiculous.
Whose bed is it?
But what if he just got bored, you know? Fed up and just decided to vanish.
Fed up? When he was leading exactly the kind of life he planned? And was about to be appointed chief counsel for the Union Trust? Oh, no, dear. He isn't the kind to simply just vanish.
Now whose bed is it?
Mine. And I bid 4 hearts.
Oh, pass.
Pass.
What do you say, Evelyn?
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't seem to concentrate.
Poor darling, it's only natural.
I think you're being very brave.
And what makes me so furious is it's also unnecessary. I'm sure he's perfectly safe and sound. Probably ran into an old classmate on the train and is visiting with him somewhere. And he's written me one of his long letters explaining everything, and as usual, forgotten to mail it. 4 spades.
What was that?
It must be the wind. Isn't it terrible weather we're having?
It's simply awful. Even for Boston.
His native Ithaca and went away. Days became weeks, and weeks became months, and his wife Penelope sat at home and waited. Ulysses wandered from place to place and from city to city. One day, weary and thirsty, he climbed to the brow of a hill to survey the countryside. And there began one of his strangest adventures.
You know, I had an adventure once. I got all dirty having it, and they told me not to have an adventure ever again. Did you ever have an adventure?
Mm-hmm.
You're falling asleep. If you don't pay attention, how can I show you how well I read?
Beg your pardon, it's the heat.
Are you an orphan?
Yes, I am.
So am I. What orphanage do you live in?
Well, I live just wherever I happen to be.
May I show this book to Peggy?
Who's Peggy?
She's my best friend. She's the nicest person I ever met.
She must be wonderful.
She is.
Nan, where are you?
Coming! To go back to town now.
Thank you very much for reading to me.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye. Anybody home? Where is everybody. Hey, is there anybody here? Peggy around? Well, there's a young lady out back. She's asleep. I hope.
Well, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm getting a bottle of beer and a donut.
In a cash register?
Oh, no, I put in 50 cents.
You were even going to pay for the beer.
Well, sure, I was going to pay. And the donut, too. And I did. And I got 15 cents change coming to me.
Put it back, bud.
Huh?
Put it back.
Well, what makes you think you got the right to come in here and tell
So
me?
you want to start trouble, huh? Okay. Jack will attend to that.
Who's Jack?
A friend of mine wears a uniform, rides a motorcycle.
Now, look, you don't want to call a policeman.
What's the matter? Don't you like cops?
I was just getting change. I don't know how to convince you.
Convince him.
Oh.
I beg your pardon.
Well,
Oh, hello, beautiful.
what's going on here?
I caught your cash register with this guy's hand in it.
I was just getting some silver.
Okay, Mike, take a look. There was $6 and some change.
Well, now you got exactly $1.56.
Well, there must be some mistake. I put in 50 cents. I took out 20 cents. I took out 15 cents because I paid for the donut.
Hi, everybody. What's cooking?
This droop here swiped $5 out of the till.
I didn't swipe
I
any.
saw you.
Okay, come around here. What's your name?
Brown. Tom Brown.
Occupation?
I sell books.
Hash houses?
Okay, turn out your pockets.
I assure you, officer.
Well, just a minute, I remember now. I used that $5 to pay for some ice cream that was delivered this morning.
You sure?
Sure. I'm awfully sorry. If this keeps up, I guess I better get myself a bookkeeper.
Okay, Brown. Better watch your step while you're around here. Thanks, Peggy.
Bye, Jack.
Thank you very much.
It's all right.
Okay, Deadbeat, on your way.
Well, if you don't mind, I think I'll finish my beer. I paid for it.
Oh, Peg, can I have the key to the pump? I want to fill up.
Well, you know where it hangs, you lug.
That's my baby. Yell if you need me.
You, paid for this, too.
Oh, thank you.
Why did you do it?
What?
Take the $5?
You said yourself there was...
Oh, forget it. We've all been broke.
What makes you think I'm broke? I got a job.
I know. You sell books. Something about an old Greek who stuck wax in his ears and had an adventure with a siren.
So Nan told you.
Yeah. How much is that book?
Oh, you don't want to buy that book for Nan. She's much too bright for it. She ought to read Homer the way he wrote it. Not in a botched-up digest.
I guess you don't sell very many, do you?
I get along.
What did you do before you hit the road?
Oh. All kinds of things.
I guess you don't like steady jobs, do you?
Well, do you think I could get one?
Well, there are a lot of people around here who could use some help.
Don't you think they'd be taking an awful chance hiring a fellow they think's a thief?
Well, I never said you were a thief. If you are, you're not a very good one.
Oh. Well, here's your 5.
Okay, if that's the way you feel about it. I was only trying to help.
My, but it's hot outside. Mike says you took 30 gallons.
Well, so long. And say hello to Nan for me, will you?
Who's that?
Oh, just another tramp.
Hey, Deadbeat. Want a ride? Thanks. Thanks very
Come on,
much.
hop in. Also, I found a couple of dozen pigeon towels at the sale.
Well, you did pretty well for $10.
Oh, I took another $5 from the drawer.
Oh. You did?
Yes, what's the matter with that?
Oh, you don't understand. This is off. Hey, mister! Mister! Mike!
How about us going out Saturday night?
Why, Mr. Swenson, I didn't know you felt that way about me.
Look, Peggy, you know you're my favorite girl on this run. Why, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
Well, in that case, you can bring the beer in.
Oh. All right, where is it?
Outside the back door.
Okay.
You.
Forgot my books.
Oh, I'm so glad you did.
Or a new pair of soles getting here.
You didn't steal that money.
That's all right.
Gee, you look dead tired. Could I fix you something to eat?
Well, thank you very much, but I got to get back to Los Angeles tonight. I got a living to earn.
You wouldn't consider taking a job around here. I could use a short order cook. I really could.
Well, I can't cook, except boiled eggs.
Oh.
Goodbye.
You sure you wouldn't like a cup of hot coffee? I just made it.
Well, there's a fellow outside. I got a ride, so... Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, watch that pudding.
Coming.
I forgot. What do you think you're doing?
Hey, take it easy.
Oh, you poor man.
Hey, I'm sorry.
What's so funny?
Did you think he was trying to get fresh?
Me? Why, she came jumping at me like a kangaroo.
I thought I saw a mouse.
You caught him.
Oh.
Coming up. So one of the professors slips him a shot of 20-year-old bourbon. Now he can whisper. He takes another shot. Now you can hear him across the river. So he finishes the flask and goes out to the crowd.
Let me to cut you.
Mr. President, he says. Mr. Churchill, welcome. Welcome to Yale.
I don't get it. What's so funny about it?
Oh, the fellow was making a speech at Harvard.
What were you doing at Harvard?
I was breaking up the leaves in the yard.
Liar.
Oh, you go on back to your till and leave the artist to his work.
He's been practicing.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, hi, Mike. What do you have?
Just a cup of java. Hi, Deadbeat. You still here? Why not? I like the food and I like the management. What are you doing Saturday night?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I got a date with Joe.
Oh, you got a date with next Saturday?
It's Sweet Swenson.
Saturday after that? One hamburger.
With Cookie here. Have you forgotten? You promised to take me out and teach me how to rumba.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I don't forget again.
So, You made yourself right at home, didn't you, Mr. Brown?
Tomas, I'm all right up there.
Hey.
I'm busy now.
No, it's not that. It's about Nan.
Oh.
I found a lawyer. He wrote up that adoption form for you.
Oh, well, thanks, Mike, but you shouldn't have done that. I've sent it in already. Cookie made it out for me.
Oh, I see. Pretty handy man to have around. Cooks, makes out legal papers, does everything.
It's no crime to have an education.
I wonder where he got it.
What do you mean?
You'll know what I mean. When you wake up some morning with your throat slit from ear to ear.
Did you talk to him?
Not yet. Tom? You do an awful lot of work around here. You don't even take your day off. Why won't you let me pay you a regular salary? A decent one.
You couldn't afford my regular salary. Besides, I've already saved $17. If I save any more, I'm going to begin to worry about what to do with it.
But it isn't fair, Tom, and you really do need lots of things.
Like what, for instance?
Well, like a new suit, for instance.
What for? I'm not going out anywhere. I've got everything I want. Good food, lovely view, nice people, plenty of things to fix, and lots of time to fix them in. This is exactly what the doctor ordered.
You didn't get very far, did you?
Well, what can I do? You can't even talk to him.
You watch me. I think you are a smart hombre. Can't you figure out what the poor girl is trying to do?
Well, yes, she wants to buy me a new suit.
See, but why?
Because she's like that. She'd give you the shirt off her back if you'd let her.
Tomas, you are dumb. It would not embarrass you to go out with a fellow who has a patch on the seat of his pants.
Well,
You have a date, no?
did she mean that?
Tomas, you are not only dumb, you are blind.
Gosh, it's nice to be away. You know, if you had a flower in your buttonhole, you'd look just like an ambassador in a newsreel.
Oh, there's a little box in the back there.
For me? Oh. Oh, gee, look. They still have drops of water on them. Oh, Tom, you shouldn't have.
Bring us a couple of dry martinis while we're looking. Yes, Mr. Brown.
They probably serve them here with the olives on gold toothpicks.
Now, what do we have?
Oh, I don't know. You order.
Very well. How about breast of guinea hen, sous cloche, soufflé à la maison, and a bottle of Chateau Rose 37.
Gee. Maybe Mike is right and you are Duke in disguise.
That's right. The 5th Lord Egg Beater.
Egg beater? Well, for Pete's sake, let's get out of here.
Well, what's wrong?
Did you see what they charge for a hamburger?
Yeah. And if my figuring's right, I'll still have a few bucks left over.
Oh, Tom, you didn't have to bring me to a place like this to have a good time.
Oh, come on. This is an important occasion. We're celebrating.
What are we celebrating?
My new suit. I've been waiting for it for 5 years. Look at that drape. Look at those shoulders. Only a quarter of it's me, but oh, boy, what dash.
Sure makes a difference. Makes you look real dignified.
Dignified?
More like a doctor or a lawyer.
Oh, dear, there goes $57.50 out the window.
Oh, no, it's very becoming, honestly.
You don't really like it here, do you?
No.
Well, what are we waiting for?
I met him at a dance on Telegraph Hill. That's in San Francisco. I was born there. Gosh, the things a dame will put up with when she's in love. Of course, I was only a kid. I was just 18 when we got married. Do you think I might do better with a heavier ball?
Well, I don't know what you're worried about. You're way ahead of me. That gave you 76.
Well, that's not enough. I want to beat the pants off you. He drank, of course. First he'd come home tight and weep on my shoulder. And he'd bring me candy next day. Later on, he just came home tight.
You're too good. here goes.
Hey, that's a honey.
How'd that happen?
You sure you've never bowled before?
How long did it last?
Oh, 6 months was all I could take. Then I got a job as a waitress. That's how I met Cheetah. There aren't many like her, Tom. The way she sewed and knitted for the baby. She even bought a crib and painted it all pink and white.
Is Nan? Nan isn't your child, is she?
No. But she's the same age my baby would have been.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Darling! Hey. I started off in the wrong foot and tried to stop in the middle.
Oh, you poor thing. Are you hurt?
No. It didn't hurt at all, but...
What's wrong, darling?
Let's get out of here.
Tired?
No. Are you?
No.
You know, this was the nicest date I ever went on.
It was the nicest date I ever went on, too.
Funny. We went out to dance and we never did.
That's right. It's kind of a shame after all the work I put in with Cheetah on my rumba.
Did you? Hello.
Well?
Hello.
What happened?
Oh, we went bowling.
Until 5 in the morning?
He's really awfully sweet.
Did he say something?
Do you know what his real name is?
I know one thing. It is not Brown.
He said it was Lord Egbeater.
It is. Bowling does some very funny things to Lord Egbeater.
What do you mean?
Take a look. He thinks he is making up his mind about something big.
Something big?
But his mind isn't made up, only he don't know it yet. Now he knows.
Knows what?
That he loves you.
You think so?
Listen, Mary, when I talk about things like this, I do not think, I know. And when he asks you to marry him, do not be a big fool, say yes.
Oh, don't be silly.
Don't you be silly. 3 cups.
Oh, I better get something on.
And remember, you say yes.
Peggy, can I talk to you for a minute?
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
How did you sleep?
Peggy, how long did it take you to get a new short-order cook?
Why, Tom?
It's the only sensible thing to do. You see, Peggy, I have been...
Is it because you're married?
Well, it's all my fault, Peggy. I should have known this would happen. If I'd had any sense at all, I'd have left here a long time ago.
My, you're an awful worrier, aren't you? I'm not looking for a husband, Tom. And if I ever think of marrying again, you can be sure it won't be just because I held hands with a fellow in the moonlight.
Peggy, I have no right to involve you emotionally.
Well, maybe I wouldn't mind being involved. A little.
But, Peggy, this is absurd. You don't know anything about me. No, this is far more complicated than I can tell you. You see, I sort of disappeared.
What did I ask you? Tom. Tom. I don't want to know who you are or what your trouble is. You can go if you like. You can stay if you like. You don't owe me any explanation.
Mike!
Crazy? Mike, have you gone daffy or something? What's the idea of driving in like that?
You're right, I'm drunk. Ever since I was a boy that high, I never was any drunker. How could I do a thing like this to my best friends? Two of the sweetest people I know.
Well, what did you do?
I was jealous, that's what I did. As soon as I told them, I knew I shouldn't have.
Well, told who?
The sheriff, that's why I got drunk.
What'd you tell him?
They're looking for you, Tom. I told them you was the guy. Go ahead now, beat it. You still got a chance. Go ahead. Take my truck. I don't care.
Hurry up, I'll get your things.
Peggy, wait. I'm not going to run away.
But, Tom...
As a matter of fact, I'm sort of glad this happened. Otherwise, I might have been so scared to lose you that I wouldn't have had the courage to leave. You see, Peggy, I've fallen in love with you as if I were 20.
Oh, Tom. But you're crazy. You've got to go.
Peggy, you got the wrong idea entirely. The only thing I escaped from was the wife on Beacon Hill.
Oh, gee, Tom. I hope you know what you're doing, because I certainly don't. I never thought I'd look at another guy again, and then you came along, and I...
But Peggy, I'll be back. And it shouldn't take too long to straighten things out.
Well, if it was so easy, why did you bother to run away in the first place?
Well...
Oh, gosh, I hate cops. I'm scared, Tom. This is silly, but I know... I know if you go away, you'll never come back to me.
The sheriff. I give him a bottle of beer. You can still get out through the back road.
No wonder it's hard to catch thieves.
Oh, Sheriff, I'm sorry to have caused you all this trouble.
It's a fine time to be sorry. You go under the name of Brown?
Yeah, that's right. Took you fellas quite a while to catch up with me, didn't it?
Well, I guess you know then why I'm here.
I'm afraid so.
You mean to tell me you did it deliberately?
Well, it was rather a combination of circumstances.
Well, for crying out loud, why don't you send them back?
Send what back?
The books.
What books?
The great stories of all time in 12 volumes?
That's right.
I'm terribly sorry, Sheriff. I'll send them back this afternoon.
Well, see that you don't forget again. Thanks for the beer.
But stop laughing, you idiot. You almost gave me heart failure.
Didn't you catch him?
Nope. You got away.
Thank goodness. I got here in time. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I guess I'm an idiot, too.
I guess we both are. But, Peggy, sooner or later...
Later?
Hi, beautiful.
Hi, handsome.
Sit down for a minute. How long did I snooze?
Oh, a couple of hours, I guess.
It's California for you. No time here, no seasons. Back home we'd call it Indian summer. Here it's always afternoon. What's that you have in your hair? Lotus blossom?
Oh, it's just something that goes around here.
There's sweet music here that softer falls than petals from blown roses on the grass.
What's that?
Tennyson, the Lotus Eaters.
It's pretty.
It's all about that old Greek who stuck wax in his ears, remember?
Sure, I remember. How long have you been here, Tom?
All my life. It's the nicest fool's paradise there ever was.
Still think we're a couple of fools?
Sure. Why not? Why didn't you wake me? You got it all fixed up all by yourself.
Looks nice, doesn't it?
Wonderful. Nan's a mighty lucky girl.
You gonna put a tie on?
For Nan's birthday, certainly. Besides, she told me to.
She also told you to keep your hands out of her jelly beans.
She said I could have one a day.
Well, she said you've been cheating. She counted them.
You better look after your guests.
Oh, you better get your tie on. Hello, Shirley.
Hello, Peggy. I brought my brother. His name is Dick. Is it all right? He brought a present, too.
Oh, certainly. There's going to be lots of little boys here.
Have you got a cake?
I think so. May I have the present?
Where is Nan?
Oh, Cheetah went to bring her. She ought to be here any minute.
Gangway, look out, kid. Is Nan here yet?
No, not yet.
Good.
We playing a jukebox? Sure, it's right up there in the porch. Gee, that's super. There's a pile of nickels on top, too.
You have to wear a bow tie?
Yeah, the little brat told me to. I had an awful time trying to find the right present for her.
Well, what'd you get?
A truck with an automatic dump.
Oh, she'll love that.
Peggy, could we see the room now? Sure, but don't say anything to Nanny.
Oh, no. Oh, of course not.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Miss.
Oh, Tom, will you take the ice cream out of the freezer and let it soften up a bit for the kids?
Cheetah. What's wrong? What happened to Nan?
Too much. Will you tell Peggy? She wouldn't let Nan come here anymore.
Oh, look at the cute little hangers. And a shoe rack and everything.
Oh, Nan will be tickled when she sees her. Oh, here comes Cheetah now. Come on, I don't want Nan to find us here. It's such a lovely room, Mr. Brown. What kept you so long? Did the tire go flat again? Nellie, you and Mrs. Forbes get the kids to sit down. I'll bring the cake and we'll get the party started. All right.
Just a minute, Peggy.
Oh, Tom, did you take care of the ice cream?
Peggy, Nan's not coming.
Not... Why?
From the county court. They refused.
They don't say why or anything.
I fixed it, see? See, ain't that something? I used to drive a real one once. Of course, it didn't work as good as this. But it carried a bigger load.
Should I go with her?
No, I wouldn't.
Hey, what's going on here? What's the matter with Peggy?
They refused her application.
You mean she can't have Nan?
That's right.
Well, here's the cake, kids. I made the frosting an inch thick. I'm sorry Nan couldn't come to her party. Who wants to blow the candles out for?
Me, please let me. I'm 7, let me. I can go the hardest.
I'm the biggest.
You people are all the same. You think a judge sleeps through a case, then flips a coin, heads you win, tails you lose.
Oh, I know.
How could you know? You don't know anything about it. The child is being taken care of in a very fine institution. She gets a real health diet, a good education, and a bit of discipline. And you want me to place her in a hash joint on the main highway that's open all night to be brought up by a young woman who isn't even married.
But, Your Honor, that is...
Easy enough for you laymen, but a judge has to look at both sides.
I know.
Don't keep saying you know. You don't. You can't know. You have to be a judge to know. Uneasy lies the head that sits on the bench. You know who said that?
Yes.
That was said by one of the greatest judges we ever had. His name was,
Oliver Wendell Holmes, Harvard Class Reunion 23.
How did you know? Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm just a friend of the petitioner's.
What law school did you go to?
I didn't say I went to any law school.
What did you say your name was?
Brown. I work at the cafe.
Oh, you're the cook. Of course, your living on the premises didn't help any, you know.
But, Your Honor...
Not that it made any difference, but... Listen, Brown. Strictly off the record, but... Why did you quit law?
Well,
Women?
No.
Gambling?
No, nothing like that.
Of course, it's none of my business, but I know a horse doctor who has a sure cure for the drink habit. He doesn't do it with any psychology or snake oil, does it with vitamins.
Thank you very much, Judge Davis. I'm afraid I'm too far gone for vitamins.
Oh, Tom, where have you been? You had me worried it took you so long.
Let's see the judge.
Oh, you think there's a chance? What did he say?
He told me to lay off the bottle.
Peggy?
Oh. Coming.
Peggy, I've got to go back to Boston.
Peggy?
Oh, Tom.
It's about time you get here. Bernie's too leaves these one a little rough.
It's the only thing that can possibly help.
Oh, it's no use. That old judge will never change his mind.
Why not? Bring me a plate, will you, Peggy? I made exactly the same mistake once. Suddenly changed my mind.
What are you talking about?
I had a case just like that. I took a kid away from his mother because she used too much makeup and because his grandfather could send him to Harvard.
A judge?
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't tell you before.
One job a week. What's the matter with you today? The boy is in a hurry.
Tom, there was a fellow in here just 2 days ago. He offered to give me a good price for the place. Why don't we sell it and go away, anywhere, when no one knows any of us who we are or what we are?
Hey, it's no use. You can't.
Well, okay, if that's the way you feel about it. You're a judge. You ought to know how to decide things.
Peggy, please.
Oh, never mind. Watch those stakes.
I don't know about you people, but I am very tired. I'm going to bed. Buenas noches.
Oh, wait for me. I'm going to.
Peggy, please. This isn't going to be any easier to decide in the morning or tomorrow night or ever.
You're still going back?
Yes.
Well, then it's decided and I have nothing to do with it. What can I say, Tom? I just don't understand. I can't have Nan and now you. If I loved someone, I wouldn't run off and leave them.
Peggy, I wish I could tell you how much more wonderful you are to me than I could ever be to you. Don't you see, it's just because of that things have to be right.
Well, I just don't get it.
Maybe I've been on the bench too long. But there are certain rules, Peggy, and when you break them, you're in trouble. I've got to go and clear up that whole mess in Boston. But then I'll be back, and we'll be married. You'll have Nan, and...
If you come back.
I still have to go, Peggy. I've been running away too long. It's too late. The place is... Nan!
I ran away.
Nan.
Peggy! Honey. Well, I hid behind a bush and they called and called. Got a little scared when it got dark, but I got a ride. Can I have some ice cream? I'm hungry.
Oh, yes. Tom, will you... They weren't mean to you, were they?
Oh, no, I like Miss Hubbard.
Well, then why did you run away?
I guess I like you better.
Oh, darling, darling.
Here you are.
Well, now. Well, they got mad at me because I climbed up a peach tree and broke a branch. I'm not supposed to swipe the peaches, but all the big girls do. Guess you're going to go and send me back.
Oh, no, darling, not until morning. You see, Nan, you have to stick by the rules even if they do seem silly. If the big girls didn't steal the peaches, then there'd be some left for you. I guess no matter how much you want it, you can't have what you want by breaking the rules. Running away.
Gee.
Well, you'll be a big girl soon, and then you can come and be with me as long as you want.
But, Peggy, you might even go and adopt some boy.
Oh, no, I won't, darling. I'll wait for you, even if it takes 10 years.
Hello, Martha.
Oh, you're back.
What's going on around here?
Oh, you mean the dentist? We had to rent the downstairs.
No, who's this?
Tommy.
Tommy who?
Your grandson. Here, you can hold him if you want to.
Oh, when did this happen?
In September. Mrs. Bailey took them in when his old man kicked him out.
Kicked out my grandson?
No, your son-in-law.
I don't think I better hold him. I got a cold coming on. Why'd he kick him out?
His old man wanted him to be a banker, and he just wanted to paint, I guess.
Martha?
Yes, ma'am?
Has the diaper man been here yet?
Yes, ma'am, and I told him what you told me to tell him, but he said he couldn't deliver on a Tuesday.
Tom.
Hello, Evelyn.
Yeah, he's back. Well, yes, I better make a cup of tea.
I'm sorry. I just...
Didn't you get my wire?
No, did you send one?
Oh, dear. I did it again. After that, I sold...
You're looking very well in spite of your cold.
It's nothing. It's just I'm not used to this Boston weather anymore.
What are your plans, Tom? Are you going to remain here now?
No, Evelyn. I'm going back to California.
Funny. I never thought of myself as a divorced woman. What do I do now? Go to Reno?
Evelyn,
Yes?
Well, I don't know what to say. I didn't expect you'd...
You're not going back right away, are you?
Well, no, I've got a lot of things to attend to. I want to see Catherine and John and spend a little time with... You know, I can't get used to the idea of being a grandfather.
You will.
Well, I guess I'd better be going. I'll get in touch with you in the morning. I thought I'd stay in that little hotel down there in Charles Street.
Can't go to a hotel with a cold like that.
Oh, I'll be all right.
You're running a temperature.
Oh, I can't stay here.
Why not?
Well, people will talk.
They stopped talking about me a long time ago. Not that it matters. They wouldn't need to know you were back anyway.
Evelyn, what's happened to you?
Nothing. I suppose I just had time to think about things since you left. Maybe it's being at home more and the children and little Tommy.
Well, we'll have to think up some kind of a story for the rest of the family.
What's wrong with amnesia? You almost had me believing it, although I knew it wasn't.
You knew?
Well, not right away. When I found your galoshes gone, I began to ask myself why. Oh, of course, I knew why the galoshes were gone. It was raining. But you know what I mean.
You mean to say you knew all along? And you didn't tell anybody?
Not a soul. I guess I have changed, haven't I?
Well, I was in Chicago working as an elevator boy.
With a uniform?
Sure. But I got kind of tired going up and down all the time. So I asked the fellow at the bus station how far I could get on $23.60. He gave me a ticket to Yellow Creek. That's where I got put in jail.
Oh, jail, too. But then I suppose that was to be expected.
What'd they get you for?
Well, just a minute, Judge. It may be just as well if we're left in ignorance of certain of your adventures.
Oh, this was no adventure. This was just a lack of visible means of support.
Is that all?
I'd hope they'd at least caught you stealing a horse or something.
Well, I must be getting back to work.
Oh, wait a minute, Hector. Sit down. You haven't told me how things are getting on down at the old stand.
Oh, about the same, I guess. Oh, we have a new janitor now. Yes, we gave old Jeffers a new set of teeth when he retired.
I suppose they threw out all my decisions the minute I left town.
Oh, no. We only had 2 appeals. You were upheld in one, and the other's pending.
Which is that?
Well, that Winthrop case, remember?
Yeah.
But you have nothing to worry about. The decision won't be announced until Thursday, but I know they'll let it stand.
Thursday. That's just 3 days.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's right.
Evelyn, get me my clothes.
Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to the courthouse. I want to get some papers from
Stay where you are. John can get them for you.
Yeah, sure. What do you want? All the things you have on the Winthrop case. Evelyn, where'd you put my files?
Up in the attic.
Well, get them down, will you?
What do you want all that stuff for?
Well, I can't do it without the records.
Were you going to try and appeal your own decision?
Sure. Catherine, get me a pad.
A lot of pencils, sharp.
You can't be serious.
What's wrong, Hector?
Well, Your Honor, I've always had the greatest respect and affection for you. Perhaps the happiest years of my life were spent in association with you, but I must tell you, I think you've lost your mind.
Oh, not my mind, Hector. Just the box I used to keep it in. You found anything yet?
No.
Getting to be silly. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
What makes it really tough is that we know there is no needle. I can't even find a haystack.
Well, there must be something. All I need is one little precedent, a paragraph, a comma, anything. Anything to hang it on.
It's almost 2:30.
Well, if I'm going, I better put a tie on.
Poor Tom, it isn't easy.
No, it isn't. It's none of my business, Mrs. Bailey, but I wish you could persuade him to drop this whole idea. It just can't be done. He'll only make himself ridiculous. So far, nobody knows he's back, and you can get a divorce quietly, but if he goes through with this, well, you may still get a divorce, but it won't be quiet.
I'm afraid this is one time I'm not going to say anything.
So you see, things have worked out much better than I expected. And I would have been back before now if it weren't for this sudden whim to tackle the Winthrop case.
He should keep his nose out of the courthouse. And that will be weeks before he gets back.
He must have liked being a judge. Did you know judges wear robes in Boston? I'd kind of like to see him that way once.
You know what is back of these? The wife. First the cold, then these. I think he's getting all tangled up.
Oh, shut up.
Why don't you do something about it?
Well, what can I do?
You want to spend $5 on a telephone call?
Evelyn, the telephone. Evelyn? Yes? Oh, put her on. Hello, darling. This is wonderful. Oh, probably in a few days now. Yes, I just found out I can't do anything about it. Yes, I'm a little disappointed. I guess I'm not as clever as I thought I was.
Well, I wouldn't feel too bad about that. I'm sure you've done everything you could. It's kind of a pity that you were so prejudiced then. But you couldn't help that either.
What'd you say? No, before... Prejudiced?
Well, Tom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, darling, you should have been a lawyer.
Tom, when are you coming back? Tom! He hung up.
Tom, where are you going?
I'm going to the courthouse. I found my paragraph. Hi, Jack.
Hiya, Judge. Hello, get me the press room.
Yeah? What? You sure it was Bailey? Bailey's back. 11, please. Come on, baby. Let's go down. Come on.
Finds no grounds for any change in the original decision as rendered by Judge Thomas Bailey. Court adjourned.
Mr. Chief Justice.
Order in the court.
One moment, please. Mr. Chief Justice, may I have the privilege of addressing the court?
Bailey, is it really you?
Where did you come from?
California, Your
What
Honor.
happened to you?
Are you all right?
Thank you, sir. I've never felt better in my life.
Well, what's on your mind?
I'd like to call the attention of the High Court to a miscarriage of justice which occurred in the case of Winthrop versus Winthrop.
Well, we've already ruled on that case.
You're too late.
By 10 seconds, Your Honor.
This is a rather peculiar situation.
And a highly unorthodox one.
And maybe very interesting. Go ahead, Bailey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Chief Justice, I would like to ask the High Court to order a new trial in the case of Winthrop versus Winthrop on the grounds that I, Thomas Bailey, was not a fit and proper judge to hear the case.
Really? Why not?
Because of prejudice.
Why didn't you disqualify yourself at the time of the trial?
I didn't know it then, Your Honor.
What did you do? Institute a search in the files of your conscience?
Is that now considered unethical?
This is ridiculous. If you were prejudiced and we upheld your decision, then we are also prejudiced.
If
If you say so, Your Honor, it must be so.
Then nobody's fit to be a judge. Gentlemen, we are not in session, remember? But, Mr. Chief Justice... The more choleric we become, the more we prove Judge Bailey's point.
Just get a look at this. How do you do? Have you heard the news? What news? Took a long time, but he finally did it. It's in all the papers. Your cook has turned out to be about the most famous judge in these United States.
Oh, vanishing judge makes legal history.
Rumored slated for Massachusetts Supreme Court.
Listen to this. The Supreme Court accepted his plea and granted full custody of the child to the mother, Mrs. Joan Winthrop.
Well, what do you know about that?
Oh, I'm so glad.
You realize what he's done? A thing like this doesn't happen once in 100 years.
Can you beat that? And I always thought he picked up his law behind the bars.
Oh, well, I guess we all make mistakes.
Yeah. Sometimes it's awfully hard to know what's the right thing to do. Nan!
I forgot to tell you, in light of what's happened, I've sort of reconsidered.
Oh, Nan! He said I could stay now for good.
Oh, darling.
And I told him to lay off the bottle.
It's a curious thing. The last time there was a vacancy on the Supreme Court, I wouldn't recommend you.
I didn't know that.
No, I thought you were just a little bit too much a stuffed shirt.
You were right.
And now that you've gotten the moss out of your system, you don't want it.
I would have given my right arm for the job then.
Ah, it's a pity. I'm the only young man left on that bench, and I'm 84. You know, Bailey, I quit the law once. Joined a circus in France.
You did?
Did you ever hear of Yvonne Sardou?
No.
Oh, no, of course you couldn't. She was the greatest bareback rider of her day. She was very beautiful. And I was 23.
They say it hits you harder when you're my age.
Yes. Maybe the reason it hits so hard is because you realize it's too late.
Might be. I've lived half my life and never once suspected that what I found out there was even possible. When you find it, you don't give it up. I've got to run along, sir.
Bye, Billy.
Goodbye, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Judge. Oh, my, it's nice to see you again. Are you going to be back with us for a while now?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Is there anybody in back there?
No, they've all gone.
Hello, Hector.
Hello.
The old place hasn't changed very much.
Why should it?
I see you had all these rebound.
Yeah?
It's nice leather, no doubt about it. Old Simpson's the best bookbinder in town. Got them all up to date?
I thought you weren't interested in those things anymore.
That's right, I'm not. What have you got to say about it?
Go on, tell me it's none of my business. But I always understood that being an adult meant accepting responsibility. It's incomprehensible to me that a man of your training and background can behave like a pimply adolescent running off to some South Sea island.
You've never been to a South Sea island, Hector. Maybe you've never wanted to. A lot of people don't.
Thank you. I think this is all.
Well, thank you very much, Williams.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Judge. Mrs. Bailey?
Goodbye. You don't mind letting yourself out?
Oh, not at all. I know the way. Goodbye.
Well, that's that, I suppose.
Yes. Everything seems pretty simple now.
Maybe that's where Mrs. Bailey made her mistake, as they say on the radio.
I don't think it's a mistake. As a matter of fact, we're better friends now than we have been for a long time.
You haven't got much time. Maybe you better take a taxi.
Well, Evelyn,
Be sure and take a muffler, and don't forget your galoshes.
Good heavens, Evelyn, I'm not falling apart.
I didn't mean that, only you've just gotten over a bad cold.
I'm awfully sorry. This must be my bad day. I don't know why I should snap at you when you've shown more real understanding than anybody else.
That's all right, Tom. And, Tom, I'd like you to know, if ever you're in Boston, you're always welcome here.
Thanks, Evelyn.
Goodbye, Tom. You'll miss your train.
Goodbye.
Hey, mister, would you watch this for me a minute, please?
All aboard!
Oh, Johnny! Bye. Thanks very much.
He was an awfully nice old man, wasn't he?
It's California for you. There's no time here. No seasons. Back home, we'd call it Indian summer. Here, it's always afternoon.
Go on, tell me it's none of my business. But I always understood that being an adult meant accepting responsibility. It's incomprehensible to me that a man of your training and background can behave like a pimply adolescent running off to some South Sea island.
Peggy, where'd you come from?
Well, I only got here an hour ago. There was a storm, the plane was grounded. I phoned your house, they said you're gone.
Oh, Peggy.
Oh, Tom. I wrote you 50 letters. I tore them all up. I knew they wouldn't stop you.
Stop me?
Mm-hmm.
All the way here, I sat up trying to think what to say and couldn't. But I do know, Tom. This is your place. This is your home, your work, your people, your life.
Peggy,
These are the things that make you what you are. You must leave. You can't.
It's all right, Donna. I'm not leaving.
You're not?
I was on my way home when you found me.
Well, I guess I made quite a fool of myself flying out here like this.
Oh, no. It's the sweetest thing anyone ever did.
It's all right.
Often the person who, more than anyone else you want to save from hurt, you hurt the most. Hector was right. I should act my age and stop chasing rainbows.
Tom! Why, you're the biggest darn fool I ever saw. Have you gone crazy? Too old for what? Why, you're too young to spend the rest of your life in a hammock. You know what the papers say? They say you'll be the youngest judge they ever had in the Supreme Court.
Yes, I suppose that's true. This doesn't mean much, really. Most of the others are well over 100.
You know, we get a lot of tourist trade now. It's just like George Washington slept here. A man shows him the arbor and the shutters are painted.
Is everything all right about Nan?
Oh, yes, it's all fixed. But we're very happy, Tom. After all, that's what I wanted most. Thanks for that, too.
Oh, Peggy, don't. If I'm any good in this new job, it'll be because I learned a great deal more in California than how to flip a pancake.
All aboard!
Tom, you have a ticket for this train, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, let's not waste it.
Makes it sort of a short visit, doesn't it?
Maybe it's just as well. Nan will eat nothing but ice cream till I get back.
She like her room?
Oh, she loves it.
How's she?
Oh, fine. She said to tell you she's taking off weight since she left.
Good.
I fixed the E-trough.
How's the hydrangeas?
Oh, wonderful. That high. Tom. Tom, all the customers still say you were the best cook on Highway 101.